It might be on brand, but is it effective? Hi, I'm Steven. I'm a DP. I've shot on hundreds of commercials, lit thousands of setups, and I break down the lighting and cinematography of videos so you don't have to. And in this case, we are looking at a slightly different approach. I mean, I'm still going to look at the light because I love light, but that is not entirely the focus of today's video, right? So what is brand? Whenever you get a commercial gig, typically it's not just a one-man band. If you yourself get a commercial gig, you have severely underbidded because it should be, and it is a group effort. You need a producer. You need partners to help do the job. It's not all just one person. One person can't do it. And so here we're going to jump a little bit into the production of a commercial. Let's look at this opening shot as an example. And in this particular case, for some reason, they chose a location, or they were limited to a location that showed nasty stuff outside of the windows. Now I'm telling you this from my experience. A producer that would look at that would be the ones that I've worked with. None of them would like that. They would say, get rid of that in some way. Either frost the windows or we pick a different location. They would have done that well before coming here. So this is why I think this was like somebody's house, a friend's house. Maybe they've underbid on this job and they were trying to use their own locations, or maybe they got an Airbnb and then they didn't realize that the windows were so cruddy outside. Like what the hell is this? What is that? This is like, is that like a power line? I'm not going to sit here and say, as Steven, we would have like thrown a tarp over that house. No, you pick a different location, and which solves that issue. So why does this not work? Okay, so at first glance, the whole shot itself is fine. They did an okay job decorating, although I would say you have lots of headroom, lots of wasted headroom, and then you have barely enough room down here for your product. Your product is in a very small section. So this is how much, this is the difference in dead space for this shot. I would have brought the shot down so that it is like this. I would have framed it like this and basically just tilt down like a foot to include more of that table so that the table isn't blocked by a potential lower third. Oh my gosh, if there was a lower third here, that product would be gone. So right here, you have everything is front lit. Very unpretty. And then, oh yeah. So this is, that's the window. Well, here's that line to that light. So all of this is a reflection of whatever that really bright light is outside the window. If you're going to get glares like that on surfaces, don't shoot that part. Move the camera around. Sidey light is going to look infinitely better anyway. Plus, what they didn't do is they didn't get a shot of the product and what it does for you. So the product goes into this, right? So you'd want to get this shot right here where it shows the product and it shows how it's being used. That would be a great insert shot. This shot right here, again, it's just flat and it's unrealistic. Look how bright her face is compared to the outside. Okay, outside her level is down here. Inside her level is like way up here. It's so unnatural. It doesn't fit. And on top of that, you got things that are blown out for whatever reason. Ugh. So already off to a bad start, but at least, again, brand wise, bright colors, a lot of red. Okay. They did that on purpose. None of this is like an accident. All of this red is intentional. Because their can is red, even though they are shaking it and it's completely blurry. Whatever. Moving on. Let's continue because there's more. Why is she bending like that? What does this even mean? So a couple things, like if you're going to be producing this, like even I would have said to the producer, hey dude, like her face is blocking, her hand is blocking her face. Can she eat with the other hand? Okay. So that's just like people, right? So let's instead of having her hand right here where she's blocking her face, use the other hand and shovel that crap into her mouth with their other hand. Okay. Or even better, turn her so that she's facing this direction. And then it's not a problem. The hand is in the background. So there's that. That has to get treated for this shot. Like that move, like what does that mean? She could be dancing. She could be doing anything that other people could relate to, like a dance. Torso bending is not something that the average person does whenever they eat something that they're happy about. See, like at least the lady in the background is dancing. So there's that. Anyway, let's move on and see what else we can find. Remember, I'm not crapping on your video. I am trying to give improvements, not only for the people that made this video, but also people that are going to make commercials in the future and they don't know what to do. They've never done one before. Maybe they're nervous. Don't make the same mistakes that these folks did. And more importantly is the treatment of the product, which is it's getting cut off. And you don't see all of it. It's facing that way. You should have it face directly at the camera. So instead, I understand that they want to see the beans coming out, but you have to find a balance between showing the can as much as possible, showing the label, because the label is what people need to identify with, not beans, the label, because that's the brand. And so if you had this can, I mean, let's redraw this. If this can instead was more like this, and you still saw those beans coming out, and it was much more sidey, then you'd have the label right there. You'd be able to see it better. Basically, take that can and wrap it in like 45 degrees, and then you would have a perfect shot. Of course, I wouldn't stop there. I would also place a reflector or a light. A reflector is better because they're so fast. Collect some of that sunlight with this reflector. That's a universal symbol for reflector. And then it just goes, and it will edge all of this. It will edge your can. It'll edge the beans coming out. And it'll edge this. It'll edge his fingers. It will look gorgeosity. It'll look like gorgeousness. Anyway, that's what I would have done for this shot right here. Yes. This shot is actually, so this wide shot is pretty good. What they've got going on here. Now I guess the framing is okay. His headroom is fine. This is a little strange, but hey, at least it's got texture to it. At least it's not 100% negative space, right? It's got some texture to it. I will say that I've noticed is that all of their green, they have in post shifted to the yellows, which is very interesting. And you might wonder, well, why? Why would you do that? Because I think it's because this product itself is green and you want the product to pop. And so I think that's a pretty appropriate use of that ability. I don't think that was poorly executed. I think that's pretty good. Again, though, if it were me, I would go the extra step because I think everything else here is fine. You got the product right here front and center, which is great. It's perfect. It's facing camera. It's not like facing off. I would have, since this dude is facing that direction, I want to always light the face. I would have had a silver lame. A silver lame is a material that it's a weave and it has silver stripping weaved into it. Basically, it's like a metal fabric silver lame, and it's like a giant, like you can only get reflectors so big. Beyond that, you have to have a lame. The bigger, the better. The bigger it is, the wider of an area it's going to spill all over, and it's just going to look gorgeous. Why go for a 6x when you can go for something bigger? It takes roughly the same amount of time to build, so just build something bigger if you can afford it. At least they're all dancing and having fun. I disagree with front lighting so harshly. So you can see all of this is just front light-tastic. Front light-tastic. And it's hitting him as well. But I think it's a reflector because, and it must be something that's more directional. So most of it is hitting her, and then it's kind of tapering off on the edges, and so he's getting not as much love. Hey, that's what happens when you use a smaller reflector. Go for something big, but don't use it on the front of the faces. Yeah, I love the choreography. They're all doing the same thing. That's badass. And then this is a missed opportunity. Why? Why, Stephen? Why is this a missed opportunity? Aren't they having fun? Aren't they eating? Isn't this what we want to sell? Well, you want to sell the product, right? And so if the product is beans, why on earth are we giving her a bite of shrimp? Find a way to shove some beans in her mouth. Oh my gosh, not a shrimp. Or have a bean in on the fork. What is the shrimp? Who eats beans with shrimp? Find something, enchiladas, something else that uses beans. Oh my gosh. And then here's something else. Like if you're selling the bean product, why are you showing somebody else's product in the middle of their commercial? Stop doing that. Don't do that. Okay, so I have to pause. It seems that there's a little bit more to this Grace Beans than is let on initially. A bunch of their products are sprinkled throughout this. So this is not just about beans. I wonder if they even sell shrimp. Even the drink is theirs. Like, that drink is theirs. It's so blurry, you can't, all of it, all of the stuff belongs to them. Like, the drink belongs to them, which is the juice back here. I'm sure it's these little red tomatillos or peppers or whatever it is that they have in the cans. The thing is, like, but that doesn't, so what's the problem then? What is the problem? The problem is, well, first off, this cup here is so blurry. What's in focus is the hand. You see the knuckles there versus this. I mean, if you're going to show off the product, don't shoot it at a wide aperture and get something else in focus. Okay? You want to show off the product in focus. How would you improve this? It's to get a hero shot of a bunch of these products. I'm sure that food truck was even theirs. Get a shot of the label on the food truck. Show the people working in the food truck. Show the food being handed out from the food truck. The only shot we actually got of a product, a proper shot, so that you could see what it was the beans. But no, in the beginning you have, those are cans of tomatoes. And then in another shot, you have cans of like something else. It's so hard to read, and because I didn't get any singles of those products as people were using it in the background, you don't know what it's about. If I were a viewer watching this, I would think, okay, it's just a bunch of people having fun, and oh, there's a can of beans. It must be about beans. That's what I thought whenever I just quickly scrubbed through it. And so that's how you would do better. That's how you would definitely improve selling the product. That doesn't negate all of the other oddities, but at least this gives a lot more clarity. A lot of their money went into this wedding, and there's a camera bump at the very end. What? Bump? Why? Oh, please. I want you to tell me what went into, if you shot this, I want you to tell me what went into the choices, the decisions that went into this, because there is some production value, but then there's it's just treated very unusually. Like, why would you keep this bump? I don't understand it. There's always more to learn, and I've made an easy introduction into commercial cinematography with the popular interview styles. It's available free at StephenLightStudy.com. It's linked below, along with one of my favorite resources, Create Against 10 Rules for Students and Teachers. And hey, if this still isn't enough, I'm also offering critiques of your work up to 2 scenes a piece. Just check the schedule for live recordings. Availability is limited, but there is a second evergreen option if you want to submit it. I would be happy to help critique your work. Everybody should have one of these under their belt. But then you have to learn from it and realize that, oh my gosh, that was wrong. Oh, why didn't they call us back? Or why didn't I get a bigger budget? Or whatever. All right, that is it. I hope you stick around and check out some of my other videos. I think you would find them very educating. Bye.